Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hafiza binti Mokhtar. My metric number is 2020492232. I will explain about retirement of Tun Abdullah Badawi. Abdullah announced his resignation in October 2008, citing his party's and coalition's dismal performance in the March 2008 national elections. According to Shin Yong, Prime Minister Abdullah Ahmad Badawi declared that he will not seek re-election to the party's presidency despite widespread calls for his resignation, leading the ruling coalition to devastating defeats in the March general elections. Abdullah's popularity signs leading the ruling coalition to devastating defeats in the March general elections. Abdullah's popularity has plummeted. The government's popularity has dropped as a result of racial tensions, a poor economy, and allegations of corruption. It came back to power in March with only a bare parliamentary majority, and since then, opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim's threats to grab power through defections has shaken the country. In April 2009, Abdullah stood resigned as a government official. According to Al Jazeera, the action is part of a well-planned handover of power from Abdullah to his deputy, Najib Abdul-Razak. Office, elegance, and confidentiality at the place in Kuala Lumpur. The monarch has already granted his approval for Najib to be sworn in as Prime Minister. After the governing Barisan Nasional coalitions were showing in last year's federal elections, Abdullah was pushed to resign. During his 22 years in government, he is likely to be remembered for permitting more public liberties than his predecessor. During his 22 years in government, he is likely to be remembered for permitting more public liberties than his predecessor Mahathir Mohamad, who was notorious. During his 22 years in government, he is likely to be remembered for permitting more public liberties than his predecessor. During his 22 years in government, he is likely to be remembered for permitting more public liberties than his predecessor Mahathir Mohamad, who was notorious for his semi-authoritarian reign. He did not, however, keep pledge to fight corruption, reform the judiciary, and media editors earlier this week that his time in government was marred by lost opportunities and that his biggest regret was the dismal election performance in 2008. That's all about his retirement.